Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by hills and fields, lived a farmer named Ibrahim. He worked hard every day, hoping to grow crops and feed his family. But the land had become dry because there had been no rain for a long time. His fields, which once grew golden wheat, now lay barren. Ibrahim lived with his little daughter, Aisha. She was a happy girl, full of hope and questions. She loved watching her father work and always believed good things would happen. One evening, Ibrahim stood near his field, looking at the dry soil. His heart was heavy. Without rain, the crops wouldn't grow. Without crops, there would be no food. He sighed and shook his head. Aisha, standing beside him, noticed his sadness. She tugged at his sleeve. "Baba, why do you look so worried?" she asked, tilting her head. Ibrahim smiled weakly. "We need rain, my dear. Without it, we cannot grow anything." Aisha looked up at the sky. It was bright and clear, without a single cloud. But she didn't lose hope. "Baba, have you prayed for rain?" Aisha asked. Ibrahim sighed. "I have, my child. But sometimes prayers take time to be answered." Aisha smiled brightly. "Then let's believe it will come. Let's prepare the land as if the rain is already on its way." Ibrahim looked at his daughter's hopeful face. Her belief was strong, stronger than his doubts. He took a deep breath and nodded. "All right, my dear. Let's do it." The next morning, Ibrahim picked up his farming tools and walked to his field. Aisha followed him, carrying a small bag of seeds. Even though the ground was dry, they started plowing. Sweat dripped from Ibrahim's forehead as he worked under the hot sun. Aisha carefully placed the seeds into the soil, smiling as she worked. Soon, some villagers gathered nearby. They whispered among themselves, "What is he doing?" One man said, "There is no rain. His hard work will be wasted." Another shook his head. "Poor Ibrahim. His daughter has filled his head with false hope." But Ibrahim ignored them. He looked at Aisha, who was still placing seeds into the ground with a bright smile. He felt strength returning to his heart. If his daughter could believe, then so could he. Days passed. The sun continued to shine, and no rain came. The villagers laughed when they saw Ibrahim working every day. "Even if it rains, it won't be enough to grow anything," someone said. "Why waste time? The ground is too dry," another added. But Ibrahim didn't stop. He and Aisha continued their work, believing the rain would come. "Baba, you always say that Allah provides." Aisha reminded him. "I know He will send the rain." Ibrahim smiled and nodded. "Yes, my child. We must always believe." One evening, as Ibrahim and Aisha stood in their field, a cool breeze swept through the village. Aisha looked up and gasped, "Baba, look, the clouds." Dark clouds gathered in the sky, rolling in like waves. The villagers stopped what they were doing and stared in surprise. And then a raindrop fell. Then another. And another. Soon, heavy rain poured from the sky, drenching the dry land. Ibrahim and Aisha stood in the middle of their field, laughing and dancing in the rain. The villagers watched in shock. He believed, and it happened. One of them whispered. "We laughed at him," another admitted. But his faith was stronger than our doubts. Aisha turned to her father, beaming. "See, Baba, I told you it would rain." Ibrahim knelt beside her, tears of gratitude in his eyes. "Yes, my child. Your faith was stronger than any doubt." Weeks later, the barren fields had turned into lush green farms. Crops swayed in the gentle breeze. The village, once dry and lifeless, was now full of hope. Ibrahim and Aisha walked through their thriving farm, smiling. The villagers approached them. "Ibrahim, your faith has taught us a great lesson," one man said. "From now on, we will believe before we doubt," another added. Aisha looked up at her father proudly. Ibrahim smiled and said, Faith is not just about asking, it's about preparing and believing. If you truly believe, anything is possible. No matter how difficult life gets, never stop believing. Faith, combined with effort, can make miracles happen.